The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn picked up his first win as the Jet head coach yesterday. Wait till you hear what he said to a bunch of reporters trying to rattle him about Aaron Rodgers. That and more. Robby Sabo joins us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
I wanted this job. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. And I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Thanks to everyone who tuned in to our Aaron Glenn introduction press conference watch party yesterday. That was a lot of fun. First time we did that. Shout out to Gator for the assistance and for the great new intro for Aaron Glenn. We are the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this bleep. JakeAsman.com right now. Our first ever Aaron Glenn t-shirt. Aaron Glenn, we're built for this bleep. T-shirts on sale now. Patreon users, 20% off this shirt and every item in the store. Of course, when you use that code that you get when you become a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Joining us right now is a member of the media who was there yesterday at One Jets Drive. He is the co-founder of JetsXFactor.com. And he's the co-host of the Underdog podcast with Jets legend Wayne Corbett. The great Robby Sabo joins us now. What's up, Robby?
Dude, it was a home run. All right. I mean, I think 99% of the Jets fan base is hyped up, ready to run through a wall. I know many of the former players were yesterday, and that was good to see. So many of his former teammates, so many of the Jets alumni. Speaking of Corbett with the podcast, he was hyped up too. I mean, he texted me afterwards, ready to, I don't know if he said run through a wall, but he couldn't, let's put it this way, for such a humble, not quiet, but humble guy, he was chatty in terms of how hyped up he was.
It was really exciting. And look, I have been very open about this. I wanted someone with previous head coaching experience. To me, it was never being anti-Aaron Glenn. He certainly qualified for the job. I've always said that. It was just that unknown. But this felt different yesterday. And I understand, look, it's a press conference. Calm down. He's got to do it on the field. I say all that first so people can't say, oh, you're going crazy over a press conference. I understand he's got to win games. We all understand that. But I want to be excited as a Jet fan again. And yesterday was a good day for the Jets. Aaron Glenn really impressed me with his leadership, the way he handled all the Aaron Rodgers questions. I mean, I'm going to play you what I thought was the moment of the press conference. And it's funny because it actually wasn't at the formal press conference. It was in the media scrum that followed the press conference. Aaron Glenn continuing to be asked questions about Aaron Rodgers, first by Bruce Beck and then by Rich Cimini. And the way Glenn handled this was so eye-opening compared to what we saw with Robert Saleh, Adam Gase, Todd Bowles. This is real leadership from Glenn yesterday.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
I mean, just the way he pushed back on Rich there, who he's known for a long time. The way he answered the initial question from Bruce Beck, who's trying to do the, I'm Bruce Beck. Give me your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Glenn. You know, and I love Bruce. Go Bombers. But I just love the way he handled that because it just felt different. He didn't feel like a first-time head coach with the way that he addressed the media there. And I think it goes back to the fact he was a Jet. He gets it. He understands.
Yeah, Bruce is great. I sat next to him in the formal part of it, and rookie mistake, silly me. They had the cameras on the other side of the auditorium, not my side. So when Bruce asked a question, one of the only 6 or 7, they didn't take that many in the formal process, I did not get captured. So there's no proof of me being there, but nonetheless, dude, Glenn, what you know about him, what you appreciate is that he is confrontational. That wasn't Saleh. I mean, think about Saleh. The most confrontational he got, I guess, was the fact that he told the media, he told everyone he's taking receipts, and that came directly after a win when the juices were flowing. I think it came, was that after the Cleveland win? When the miraculous Cleveland win in Cleveland? I think so. But regardless, he wasn't confrontational. He was, he's a nice guy. He's not, he talked about accountability at times, but it never came to fruition. Glenn, that saying he's not Parcells and saying it, even though Samini didn't say anything in terms of comparing him to Parcells, he just brought up Parcells' name.
Just trying to shoot it down right away to basically be like, stop saying I'm one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'm my own guy. Like, he doesn't want to be labeled as a Parcells, impersonator, so to speak.
Yeah, dude, you got to be, you have to be emotionally intelligent, yet somewhat dictatorship-esque as a head coach, as a great head coach. So there's Glenn bringing up Parcells in the opening speech he gave, giving him all the kudos. That story about Parcells telling him, no, you're not going to coach, you're going to scout first, which I thought is tremendous. That's a eye-opening thing that I didn't know. So he brings up Parcells and then shoots Samini down, whoever it was, didn't have to be Samini, when he brought up Parcells later. That's authoritative. That's, dictatorship-esque. And, he doesn't fool himself. He knows what he's doing while going down that route.
I just thought it was so impressive to handle it that way. And it's the exact opposite of what Robert Saleh would do, where he would basically try to be Mr. Nice Guy, everyone's friend. He would try to control the narrative with the media. Yeah. You had the stories that came out that he is texting with members of the media. He's texting with our guy, Joe B. He's trying to basically get at everyone's good side.
Silly.
And you can't do that in New York. You have to just win. You have to be yourself. And you always get concerned with any first-timer coming into this market because you hear about it, but until you live it, it's different. He's lived it as a player. He saw what it was like when it was as bad as it could be his first 3 years. The last 2 of those first 3 being with Rich Kotite. And then he mentioned Parcells coming in and getting the right people is what changes the culture, not rah-rah speeches, which certainly Aaron Glenn is capable of delivering. I really want this to work, and it's one day, it's a press conference, but it did, for what it's worth, it did feel different yesterday with him up there compared to some other first-time coaches that have been in that spot with the Jets.
Yeah, I get on Beningo and some other guys who, value the former Jet type stuff too much. Like, oh, we got to go Rex because Rex understands the Jets. He loves the Jets. It's not that important. It's not as important as you're placing that importance to be. Is it nice in terms of Glenn understanding who the Jets are, understanding this market? Yeah, for sure. It's not nothing. I'll put it that way. But it's not. It's not a crazy element in terms of becoming a great head coach in this sport. The thing that I really loved about the accountability, and I have a couple questions. We're going to get to them soon, but the thing I really love about the accountability is the fact that he laid out each person needs to understand the responsibility. And if that's not clear cut, you're going to have guys who play hero ball. You're going to have guys on defense like Quinn Williams who try to make a ridiculous hit on every play instead of playing for the teammate next to you, shedding blocks and filling wrong gaps instead of spilling the correct way, doing things that are just obviously just blatantly disrespectful to your teammates. So that's the beautiful thing that I'm optimistic about, that the accountability aspect, he spit it out and said responsibility. And listen, Jets fans got on me at the time, but Jermaine Johnson changing his number from 56 to 11 after 1 year in the league. To do that, Saleh and the Jets had to change his position from D-line to linebacker. Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. 11 looks much better on JJ, no question. But when that happened, I was like, why? Why are we doing this? Like, really, is this the route we want to go down in terms of just letting guys change their position on paper, even though they're not a linebacker whatsoever, because they want a new number. Don't you want to make them earn it first, or have them think that, have them believe and realize that it's not that important first? It was just one more element on top of Salah that just made me scratch my head.
If you're watching live right now, hit the like button. We're talking about yesterday's Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey press conference. We'll talk about Mougey a little more today as well. But once again, the moment that fired up this fan base that now is going to be a rallying cry for the Jets going forward was this.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people reached out to me after that, sending me that clip. I mean, it just, look, this franchise has been down bad. We all understand that. But I'm not going to sit here and say, well, it's not going to work because it hasn't worked for the last 14 years. Like, if you're a fan, be excited. You're allowed to be. I hate people being like, oh, you can't be excited. Like, you know what? Whether you wanted Aaron Glenn or not, he's here and he wanted this job. And I think the way that he really emphasized that yesterday, that he had other opportunities, right? But he made it clear this is the only place he wanted to be. And he also basically said something that I thought was the case. When he left after that second interview, he left shaking Woody Johnson's hand, he said, with a deal in place. So the idea the Jets were ever going to lose Aaron Glenn, that was nonsense. He, like, Mike Florio could zip it with that nonsense he was trying to put out there.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that one.
The Jets had Aaron Glenn signed, sealed, delivered, and vice versa after that in-person interview a week ago from where we are right now.
Hey, listen, there's questions, and I'll definitely get into them soon, but it is nice. It's like I said, it's not nothing that he is a Jet and he wanted to be here. It makes it, the motivation is compounded in that instance, and the community is reinvigorated, and that is not nothing either. That helps. The former players, his former teammates wanting to help. Corbett, like I mentioned already, he's running through walls already, and fans just going nuts. It's all good stuff, but it can't be in isolation. And I think, fortunately, for the future of this franchise, it's not in isolation. He is confrontational. That is, I can't express how key that is, that he's willing to go up to somebody, go up to anybody, and be confrontational and not avoid a certain situation, whether it's positive, negative, what have you. And I think that goes a long way in terms of being the CEO of the football program.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah, let's go, Robbie. Hey, to celebrate Aaron Glenn being the new head coach of the Jets, we're upping the prizes again on the next Asmaniac Raffle. You ready for this, Mr. Sabo? Raffle number 14 will feature the most expensive item that I have purchased yet, thanks to the Asmaniacs. A signed Joe Namath helmet is yours if you win the next Asmaniac Raffle. The second place prize is a signed Joe Klecko helmet. Back-to-back Joe Hall of Famers for the Jets. And our third place prize, I mean, you talk about a great prize, a signed Coach Glenn, Aaron Glenn frame photo. So those are the top three prizes. We'll have other prizes as we go. But if you want in on the Asmaniac Raffle, number 14, all you got to do is gift a membership, become a membership yourself, or send in a $20 super chat, and that will get you 5 raffle entries. Comments, questions, super chats for Robby Sabo and I want to talk about Darren Mougey, Robbie, because, of course, Mougey's up there. There was one question out of any of the ones in the formal press conference, and then he did a media scrum off to the side. What did you think of Mougey? What stood out from talking to a guy who is 6'6" and very much looks 6'6" when he stands next to Aaron Glenn?
Yeah, dude, he's came to San Diego State as a quarterback, moved to receiver rather quickly. Cup of coffee in the NFL, not much. Been a personnel guy for a long time. Been with Denver for a long time. I think that's a positive. Glenn didn't surprise me. The way he conducted himself, the way he got Jets fans fired up, the way how authoritative he was, and how confrontational he was. Mougey, is it Mougey or Mougey? I'm still back and forth on that.
Mougey, I believe, is what is the actual name now.
Okay, I keep going back and forth. I don't know, but I'll go Mougey. Mougey, he's the one who surprised me.
Mougey rocking everywhere. Sorry.
He's the one who surprised me. He was confident. He had a presence about him up there. And make no mistake, dude, it's not easy to be in that spot as a first-time GM in this market, to go up there and be that confident and have that presence. Yet he did it. He only took one question. So, I saw people who like to bash the Jets were saying that on Twitter. Come on, what presents? He took one question. Shut up, you knucklehead. He went in the scrum after that, didn't, misstep once. So if there's any surprise in terms of how either guy conducted himself, I think it's Mougey having that nice presence.
You could tell there's a lot of mutual respect, of course, between him and Aaron Glenn. And what I like about the hire, too, they knew each other, but they didn't know each other that well. Like Glenn interviewed for the Broncos job in 2021, and he said that he stayed in touch with Darren Mougey. Mougey comes highly regarded because Sean Payton's signing off on this, who was, of course, Aaron Glenn's mentor. So, I think there's promise here. I think there's upside. He's a young guy, but he's highly regarded. He's survived a bunch of different ownership changes, which I think is notable. So I like the fact that they didn't just pick Lance Newmark because, Lance and Glenn were together in Detroit and it would have been easy to do that. It sounds like Glenn sat in on these interviews and gave his opinion, and his opinion was, hey, Mougey's the guy I want to work with. And I do like that Mougey said in the scrum, Robbie, you probably were there when he said it, that, hey, any move I make is not going to be done without Aaron Glenn being on board. Like, essentially, there's no they both report to Woody, so who wins? Like, I got the sense that Mougey is not going to do anything unless Glenn's on board. Like, Glenn is clearly the face of the Jets now going forward.
Yeah, this is, and I'm writing a story. Glenn, tremendous job. I love his leadership, but there are two critical questions that I have right now, and one deals with just Glenn, and that is the conforming to today's modern game. I think he understands what he has to do. Putting it in practice is much different, much harder. Being alongside Ben Johnson, being under Campbell, he saw it for years. How you're supposed to call a game and coach in today's league. That's question number one. Question number two, this is the old structure with both guys reporting to Woody. There's no problem with that theoretically. It's kind of a throwback where they're going with team decision more. And I know Douglas said that, Saleh said that as well, but it's sort of more a throwback to Mangini Tannenbaum, Rex Tannenbaum, and Idzik Rex. The only difference is Mougey is a personnel guy, whereas Idzik and Tannenbaum were financial guys, cap guys. Mougey and Glenn will disagree. There's no question about it. So, calling it a team decision in the public is all well and good. That's fine. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But under the table in real discussion, guys, those two will disagree. They better disagree. If they don't, there's something wrong. Who's the tiebreaker when they do disagree? Can't be Woody. My hunch is it's Glenn. Like you said, he's the face and he's going to have final say. So I'm okay with the setup as long as they know and everybody knows and they're on board with who the authoritative dictator of the hierarchy is, as long as he doesn't act that way. He knows he's that, but he does the team thing. And I think Glenn's capable.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Great to have so many Jet fans back on this channel. 633 people watching right now. We haven't hit those numbers on a morning stream in a very long time. You can tell the fan base is energized after yesterday. We're presented today by Huga House. If you want a Huga House hat, they just dropped a bunch of brand new ones. I'm waiting for one to come in for myself personally. Go to hugahouse.com, but do so by using my link in the description box because you'll save 20% on any order. You could also use promo code Asman and get 15% off. But why would you do that when you can get 20% by just using my link in the description box? Bunch of new hats, winter beanies available as well. Get the hat that Rodgers rocks, Shane Gillis rocks, Kevin from The Office rocks, Otani rocks, many others. HugaHouse.com. But make sure you go to the website using my link so you can save 20% instead of just the usual 15%. Shout out to Huga House for being a part of our show. Let's talk about Rodgers specifically. We played the epic answer from Glenn at the beginning of this show. Now, this was the other time he was asked about Rodgers. It was the very first question of the press conference, once again, by Rich Samini.
Yeah. A question for Aaron. Since you brought it up a moment ago, with Aaron Rodgers, what is going to be your process as a coach to determine if he's going to be your quarterback next year?
Well, me and Mougey is going to sit and talk and just go over the whole roster. And I will tell you now, that's going to be the answer to a number of questions when it comes to the roster in general. So we're looking forward to that process. I can't tell you how long that process will be. But the thing is, we're going to make sure we get the right answer. And we're not going to rush to this answer, because we're going to get the right answer.
Yeah.
What is the right answer?
I think the right answer is to confront Rodgers, keep that same attitude, and make it clear to him that this is different. This is not the previous regime that's kissing your ass because they're viewing you as a savior. This is something different. This is something new. This is something with actual leadership, and take that confrontational attitude to him and let him know, hey, we'd love to have you back. But this is something different. And as long as you're cool with that, let's go.
You know, it's interesting because Aaron Glenn was asked by Samiti in that clip we played at the top, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback? Tough mentally and physically. That's Aaron Rodgers to a T, if we're being fair.
Yeah, it is. And I love in that answer, he didn't get into specifics. I also love, oh man, I forgot who asked it. I think it was in the scrum. Did someone ask, what do you envision your offense being? Or maybe it was just the quarterback, but
someone did ask him about the what his offense would look like. I think it was Costello.
Okay. Great question. I think even Costello asking that knows there shouldn't be a specific answer. And if there is a specific answer from Glenn, that's trouble. But Glenn didn't give a specific answer. He said something general along the lines of winning. And that's the way it should be, based on personnel, based on week-to-week game planning, and, way too early for anything specific.
For sure. They have to figure out who the offensive coordinator is before you even talk about, Rodgers and the offense and what it looks like. I mean, one thing's for sure, no matter who they hire, they got to run the football better, man. That's where it starts. People always leave that out. It's like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers maybe is not what he once was, but they also don't do him any favors when they give him zero running game, which we thought would be the biggest strength of the offense this year. And it was everything but it was the exact opposite.
Yeah. And Jets fans, you could say they need to run the ball better without saying they need to be ground and pound. There's a massive difference. And the right answer is somewhere in the middle, where they could effectively run the ball and actually have an offensive line rushing identity where they don't look completely clueless. I can't tell you how many times I watched the tape where I throw my hands up and I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, is this a gap? Is this a zone? It's so disjointed. I don't know what to say. And time and again, watch the San Francisco game again. Watch the Tennessee game again. Rodgers defaulted. Listen, I'm not trying to make the claim Rodgers is perfect, that he's not stubborn sometimes. He is. But Rodgers defaulted to the game plan, to the coach's team vision, especially early in the season. Watch that San Francisco game. Rush on first, rush on second, third and long. Rush on first, rush on second, third and long. He stuck with the game plan, and yet they were getting 1 yard, 2 yards, -1, -2, setting up third and long every time. That's asking your quarterback to do way too much. I don't care if it's Johnny Unitas in his prime. It's asking them to do way too much. So, yeah, got to get the O-line coach and the OC is just who those two people are going to be is going to be monumental.
The way he's answered every Rodgers question to this point, I can't say enough good things about it. Here's more from yesterday with Aaron Glenn in the scrum.
Aaron, what will your process be like? Will you go meet with Aaron? I know you guys.
Listen, we've already texted Aaron, and me and Mougey are going to sit there and we're going to watch every game tape there is, and then we're going to look at the whole roster. This thing is not about Aaron Rodgers, folks. This is about the roster, and we plan on building the best roster that we can. So whatever that may be, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, that's what we're evaluating. And listen, everybody's under the microscope. That's just what it is. So we're going to do the best we can to make sure we build the best roster.
You couldn't come up with a better answer in a lab. Like that is the perfect thing to say to set the tone that it's different now. We're going to be a team. We're not going to kowtow to Aaron Rodgers and pretend, as you said, he's the savior.
No.
Like, I want Aaron back. I think he gives them the best chance to win. And I think Aaron Rodgers himself probably really likes what he heard from Aaron Glenn yesterday about his vision for the team and accountability, because that's everything Rodgers was saying he was trying to do. And if you watch the Netflix doc, Aaron Glenn and Aaron Rodgers sound very similar when they address the team. There's a scene in it before the Jets played the Chiefs 2 years ago that I tweeted yesterday. I don't know. Call me nuts. I think Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Glenn would get along great.
Oh, I think it's the perfect hire for Rodgers to want to come back. That doesn't mean he will. But a few things here. Saleh. I mean, did we hear with him coming in? Schemes. The Seattle scheme, the cover 3 quarters scheme, Legion of
The
Boom.
wide 9, baby. So
Wide
we
9.
can't stop anyone.
All about the wide 9. LaFleur on offense. Shanahan rushing attack. Shanahan, LaFleur. Stop. It's not about scheme when you're coaching. It's scheme is a part of it, but it was too much. Glenn is doing it the right way. You don't hype up the scheme. You never should be married to one scheme either. And that's what we saw for the last 3 years. And with Rodgers, I forgot what I was going to say.
With Rodgers, he gives them the best chance to win. It should be the Jet quarterback, damn it.
He does. He honestly does. And listen, I think I said this to you on Sunday night. Do we think Aaron Rodgers, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, is not a good leader, number one? And do we think he's actually a quarterback who would take good suggestions and throw them away, or throw good coaching away? And come on, if you think he's not, going to be receptive to good ideas and good coaching, you're nuts. So I think we make way too much about Rodgers and the scheme stuff.
I think he wants to win, and I don't think he wants to go out the way it ended. And by the way, he could have easily shut it down when he was playing through injuries and the team was going nowhere. And in fact, he played every game, still took pride in showing up to work and playing the quarterback position. And his last game, he threw 4 touchdowns and looked good and looked healthy. So he still could play. He's not what he was, but he's still their best chance to win. And I think people need to understand that we're not saying he's going to win an MVP next year, but you build a better running game in front of him. You fix the defense. You have better situational coaching, which by accident they should have with Glenn and the staff. Right. You could be competitive next year. They won 5 games without any coaching this year. They led the NFL in fourth quarter blown leads. Like, you can't get the lead if you don't have talent in the first place.
To be as productive as Rodgers was under that coaching is a near miracle. That's not an overstatement. And I don't think people realize that. That's one. Number two, I remember what I was going to say before. The whole one quarterback away thing with the Jets and the defense, sure, the fans, the media drive that. That's part of it. But that doesn't get driven if it's not coming from, if it's not being screamed from internal sources, i.e. Saleh. So, like Glenn said, there's a very, and like you said about Glenn, there's a very different message. Hey, Rodgers, he didn't say this, but I think he'd love to have him back. But it's not about Rodgers. It's not about one player, one position. We're not one position, one player away, and that's a fresh thing compared to the last regime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first person to gift a membership since I announced our new grand prize, the signed Hall of Famer Joe Namath helmet and display case, by the way, that I will send to you, is none other than Mike, who just gifted 10, that's right, 10 channel memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell to the yeah. 10 memberships for Mike. If you hear your name, you're a channel member. That's 10 raffle entries for Mike. Modelis VJ4, Sonny Crockett, Jerry Moore, King Saria, Kelvin Joseph, Jason Del Monte, J8 Silent Bob, Andrew Yale, T-Town Jet, John D. Lee, all receiving channel memberships. Let's go, man. This Namath helmet is sick. I want to buy one for myself, but it's a little pricey. I won't lie. Signed Joe Klecko helmet, second place prize. Signed Aaron Glenn photo, the third place prize. Cincy Matt, who yesterday won an item from the raffle, and guess what? He's like, I'm not even a Jet fan. I just love the show. I'm like, okay, let me send you something else, and I'll use your raffle prize for a future prize again to a different listener. And Matt's like, okay, I want some Jake Asman shorts. And guess what, Robbie? I sent him some Jake Asman shorts, the green ones, size XL.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
That's a
Matt
match.
with 5. Here we go, baby. 5 from Matt, Winston Grant, Drub Cabra, Deborah64, TH3 Entertainment, all receiving channel memberships from our guy, Cincy Matt. Oh, wow. Memberships flying off the shelves now. Bo C. Hey, Bo, you won the signed Garrett Wilson. Actually, no, it was Jay Cruz. Bo, you won the signed Breece Hall card I have right here. I don't have your info. I know you thought I did. I don't. Email me, Asman Jake, your address, and I will send this out to you by the end of today. I have it right here for you.
Bo knows.
Let's go. Bo does know, Robbie. Bo does know. Hit it for Bo.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah. Mike just got a membership gifted to him. How about that? He's been gifting for everyone else. He didn't have one for himself. Now he does. D-Rock NY, Zach R, Just Endure the Suffering, Notorious HAN, all receiving memberships there. We got more memberships flying off the shelves. Alfredo Salas, NYC Camper, all getting memberships. David A, Alexi I, and then here we go. Wow, Lee Van. Good to hear from Lee Van. He's in on the mix. How about a 5-spot, Robbie? You ready for more Aaron Glenn? Boom.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah. Here we go. The Meadowlands Swamp Thing. Norm, go jet yourself. Matthew Wright, all receiving memberships there. Fonz as well from Lee Van. Thank you to everyone for the membership swoon. All right. More questions I have for you, Robbie. Staffing for Aaron Glenn. You talked about it. He says he's just going to get the best coach. That's all that matters to him. Do you believe, though, some of these coaches, he says he's not worried about if you've been a head coach before or how much experience you have. He's like, we're going to get the best coaches, which is the right answer. That said, I know me personally would prefer any first-time head coach to have some seasoned coaching, maybe ones with previous head coaching experience on the staff. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it's a puzzle. It's just like building a team. You don't want anything in abundance. You don't want all rookies. You don't want all vets. You want a healthy mix. Trickier with coaching, less spots, fewer spots. So you start with best coaches. I kind of look at it the same way as drafting. Every GM says best available player when it's not that. That's just the benchmark you start at. And that's going to be the same with coaching. I think Caley is still the leader in the clubhouse for me, OC wise. O-line coach, I have no idea. I'm reading the comments. I see Callahan. Callahan as an O-line coach is a dream. He's
working with his son right now. He's not leaving his son.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. Rex was so blessed to have that. And was he there with Mangini? Was he there prior to Rex? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think Callahan, Schottenheimer, Westhoff.
I know Schottenheimer was. And
they were the 3 holdovers. By the way, Schotty's press conference yesterday, it brought a little tear to my eye seeing that man be a head coach.
I didn't see it yet. How did you do in the presser?
I thought he was good. I mean, look, no one's going to give him a chance, and I get it. You know, Brian Schottenheimer in the year 2025 being a head coach is crazy, but yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him. Yeah, I kind of like everyone's beating up on him, and like he didn't hire himself. You know, he talked about how being a head coach was his dream. He thought that he probably missed his window to do it because he's been around for so long. And he did make one reference to the Jets. He goes, I've been a play caller in my career, and I'm proud that we led the NFL in rushing twice when I've been a play caller. And I'm like, damn right, baby. Ground and pound.
I think we coincidentally mentioned Shotty's name on this show 2 or 3 weeks ago. We said, where is Shotty? And I knew he was in Dallas, but never did I foresee this. Jerry Jones, man. I wonder if Cowboys fans are losing their minds right now. They have to be.
They are. Yeah. I did a show on Sirius over the weekend on Mad Dog. So national show. Oh, yeah. Cowboys fans not happy.
Hey, man, listen.
It's more so Jerry than Shotty. Like, Shotty is unfortunately the target of the,
For sure. For sure.
Hey,
it's, I don't know. Listen, Glenn Wilkes, I'm hot and cold on Wilkes for the DC. I just don't know yet, to be honest. And Glenn, even defensively, Glenn didn't rule anything out in the scrum. I forgot my apologies to whoever asked the question, but it had something to do with how do you envision the defense? And he did
say he wouldn't call the plays, though, which I liked.
Yes, he won't call the plays, which I'm completely cool with. He didn't rule out 4-3-3-4. He didn't say those specific words, 4-3-3-4. I'd be shocked if the personnel is 3-4. Like, in other words, a lot of guys go hybrid 4-3 and 3-4 these days, but the personnel is more 4-3. Like, you have to have a strict vision on the personnel, or your edge is going to be linebackers, or the lighter linebackers, are they going to be bigger edges? There's a lot with that, and as long as him and Mougey are on the same page, they could be versatile defensively.
You got 2 people with the same comment at the exact same time about this, Robbie. Leo's Dogs. How about Mangold as line coach? Is your name Anthony, Leo's Dogs? And then Anthony Rodriguez, get Nick Mangold as an O-line coach. Mangold was there yesterday.
He was. I felt like a little man because Mangold and Damian Woody were sitting directly behind me. It was, when you feel someone walking up behind you and you want to look over your shoulder. Dude, the presence of those two, my God. If Mangold, Mangold never struck me as a coach, but if he wanted to coach, there's a lot of guys. Victor Green's yelling out. Corbett wants to help. It's a great sign when the community is this rejuvenated.
Mangold was there at a mini camp last year, or maybe it was a training camp practice.
Yeah, he was working with the Rook.
Yeah, no, he's working with Tippmann. Remember that?
Tippmann? I thought he did some with Oldham too. Yeah. I put it, I captured it on video. I love that, dude. Hey, you don't have to, and all these guys, these legends, these alumni, you don't have to be a coach to help out either. Just be around in the summer, offer some words of wisdom and do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to some super chats. They cut the line. Tony wants to know, when do you think we start to see AG hire his staff? As early as today. I mean, there's other teams around the league hiring coaches every day. The latest, by the way, a name that we thought could be a possibility for the Jets is off the board. John Morton, who was the Jets OC in 2017 for McCown and shouldn't have been fired, by the way. That was a mistake by Todd Bowles. He is now replacing Ben Johnson in Detroit as the Lions OC. So I'm hearing the name to watch if the Jets don't get their top choice, which is Nick Caley. I put it out on Twitter last night, so those could check it out. Tanner Enstrom, who is the pass game coordinator in Detroit, who now just got passed over to be the Ben Johnson replacement. He's apparently, I've heard, a name to watch for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I've heard. I have not heard it relating to the Jets, so that's news to me, but I know the name, and he's thought of as highly regarded, and I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I want to get to know more about his background, but based on what Detroit did, I mean, I'd be intrigued by anyone related to Ben Johnson.
He's a Harbaugh guy. That's where he got his start, at San Diego with Harbaugh.
Yeah, and that too. I mean, hey, if he's a Harbaugh guy, it could be the best of both worlds. Listen, Ben Johnson, rush first too with Detroit, might be completely different with Chicago, with Caleb Williams. I mean, we don't know. Harbaugh's definitely rush first. We know that, and he's proved that everywhere he's gone. Ben Johnson, I think, is more flexible, but maybe this kid, got the best of both worlds with those two.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Bo C checks in. Bo Seafris. Bo, I hope you heard me before. Shoot me a email, Asman Jake, with your address, and I will get your Breece Hall card sent out today. I want to make sure I get ahead of all this before I go to New Orleans next week for Super Bowl Radio Row broadcasts. I don't think anyone realizes the importance of AG having the support of so many people in this league, ex-players, coaches, and owners alike. Jets. I mean, it's powerful, man. I mean, I tweeted out that clip that we led the show with, and this morning alone, I've been quote tweeted by Marcus Spears and future Hall of Famer Reggie Wayne, who tweeted, "This guy made me change my approach to the game as a young pup. Respect, congrats." So, I mean, Aaron Glenn is a no-nonsense guy. Now we just got to see if his skills as a great coordinator and leader, if that translates to being a head coach.
20 Engstrand has, was he at San Diego State, I think?
Or
I'm not sure.
Or San Diego. That's where Harbaugh was, right? He was San Diego, not San Diego.
Okay. I was going to say ties with Mougey, but listen, how respected he is across the league, it falls under the it's not nothing category. It matters. It's something. And I'm going to talk about the negatives more and more. I mentioned it before. It'll come down to whether, and I know he understands today's league and how different it is compared to the Parcells era and when he played, and even 12, 15 years ago when he started scouting for the Jets. But it'll come down to him putting that in practice. In game, will he trust his defense when he shouldn't? In game, will he be aggressive when he should be aggressive? During the week, are they game planning the right way where they're willing to throw it, 15 out of the first 18 plays if the defense is doing the thing that allows you to throw it that many times? It'll come down to that practice, him conforming to the modern rules and the modern way this game is played. And I think he has a great chance to do it. Doesn't matter if he has a defensive mind. He has a great chance to do it, but I think ultimately his success will come down to that.
Hey, give it up to Cypress MG, who just gifted a channel membership.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah. I can't play that enough, man. It's nice to be positive for the first time in a while. Cypress MG's membership went to himself. How about that? It doesn't happen often, but he gifted his own membership to himself.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah. I don't know. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes There's magic in the air. Imagine he wins the raffle with one membership gifted and gets the Namath helmet from that.
Rigged.
No, come on. Not you. Not you too.
I don't know. I was rooting for the Bills, so everything's rigged.
you were not rooting for the Bills.
Nah. I didn't have a rooting interest whatsoever. I just wanted to see a good game, and I wanted to see Allen get closer in the red zone to see if he could do something and stuff went in to take a 4-point lead. So I wasn't rooting for the Bills specifically, but I wanted a little more drama late in that game.
Cypress has gifted 5 channel memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell to the yeah. By the way, shout out to Gator for quickly making that updated Glenn built for this bleep drop for us to play many times on the show as we try and give ourselves some hope as Jet fans again. Andrew Kemp, it's Snoopy, Joshua Langley, AJ Driscoll, Mike Cruiser, all receiving channel memberships there. I want to get to some more super chats here. This one is from 25 who says, great to see all the former players showing their support. Think Glenn adds any former players to his staff? If so, who would y'all like to see? So we brought up Mangold before. Now, you know Corbett as well as anyone. Does he want to be on the staff as like a receivers coach? Like, what would Wayne Corbett want to do for Aaron Glenn if Aaron Glenn called him?
I don't know specifically. I don't even know if Corbett knows. Maybe he does by now, but I don't even think he knew specifically at the time. I'm writing about that today, so I'm going to have some quotes, but I know he's going to let's put it this way. It's going to be worked out pretty soon, no matter what his intent is. But the alumni that were there yesterday, who else was there? Rob Carpenter, Woody, Mangold, Cascadden.
Was Glenn Foley there?
Who?
Was Glenn Foley there, someone said?
Was that Glenn? I couldn't identify a couple of them. I mean, it's not like I was staring at their faces, but I couldn't identify a couple of them, to be honest. It could have been Foley. Donnie Abraham, I think someone mentioned. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I think Glenn Foley was there yesterday.
Yeah, let's see who else. Rob Carpenter, Connie. Connie is the person who helps me out most in this area.
Is Connie obviously, in the chat?
Yeah, obviously Marty Lyons, Connie Carberg, the great scout. Yeah, I'm missing a couple names, but hey, the support is tremendous.
Love that. Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? Felix with a 20 spot of channel memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Oh, that we are.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
And one more for Felix.
Felix Campos, he wonderful, wonderful guy. He gives a lot of gift memberships and loves the Jake Asman Show.
Take the money.
Here we go. It's raining memberships, Robbie. You know it. I know it. Grab the Gustbuster. 20 names right here, right now, for Felix Campos coming through for the people. Here we go. 20 names. I will read. Mark, you have a membership. Andrew Shirley, membership. Mark E. C. Lamb, F. Hassan Reddick. Amen. Tyler Useri, Joey Jersey, Joe M. Greg Lott, Zach Rosenblur, Ray Perez, Tony Alvarado, Marcus Alfonso, Jonathan Cassiano Sr., E. Stack Fishing, Darius Richards, Eric Andy, Titan, all receiving channel memberships from the great Felix Campos. Wow. Felix, thank you very much, man. Always appreciate your support. That's 20 entries for the next raffle. And by the way, I want to reemphasize it. I will add more prizes the more we get, but the top 3 prizes are as follows. Number 1, the most expensive item I've ever bought. Joe Namath signed helmet in a display case with the authentication certificate that, of course, comes with it. Number 2, the signed Joe Klecko helmet. Number 3, the signed Aaron Glenn photo. And I have more to offer as we keep going. All right, more questions for Robbie to address. This one is from Birkin, who writes in, do you guys feel we can and should try to pull up Pete Carroll or Gruden for VP of football ops? Hey, Birkinator, are you unaware that Pete Carroll got a job? He's the head coach of the Raiders, so he's out. And I don't think Gruden is going to be involved at all because no one even interviewed him for any role. So I think we could rule that out. As far as adding experience, though, or like a VP of football ops or someone to help Mougey, I certainly hope they add some key lieutenants to Mougey in the front office, if that's what you're maybe asking here, Burkinator.
Yeah, that would make sense really quickly. It was Glenn Foley, Tony Richardson. Leon. Yeah, Leon was there too. Yep, Leon was there. Fred Baxter, Rob Carpenter, Glenn Foley, Dennis O'Sullivan for some of the old heads. Glenn Foley's an interesting one. Was he and Aaron Glenn tight? Maybe, back in the day. I don't know.
I have a Glenn Foley jersey somewhere.
Yeah, dude.
My dad knew him.
A lot of Jets fans. Your dad knew him?
Yeah, my dad knew him, and like growing up, there were in my dad's office there was a signed Glenn Foley jersey.
A lot of Jets fans don't realize this. He was the starting quarterback for Parcells in '98. Going into that seat, like he was the guy until stuff hit the fan and Vinny hopped in there. It's a crazy thing. Parcells really liked him.
He really didn't play that long. He only played 6 years. He was drafted the same year Glenn was, though. That's probably where they first formed a friendship.
Yeah, interesting. It really is interesting. Fred Baxter, man, I shook his hand once at training camp. Talking about feeling like a little man. I just wanted to run away and scream. That dude, he's got some mitts on him. Probably why he never dropped too many passes. They had double Baxter, Brad Baxter at fullback, Fred Baxter at tight end back in the Coslet days.
Jerry the Jet with a super chat. Any way Aaron Glenn can salvage Malachi Corley to a solid wide receiver 3?
Yeah, salvage is way too quick of a trigger word to use. No need to say salvage. Rookies, round 3 rookies. When you're a fan of your own team, you think more highly of a round 3 guy than you should. It's more hit and miss. It's most of the time miss. So I wouldn't say salvage yet. I think, we saw it in recent history. Jericho Cotchery didn't play. 2004, 2005, didn't play much under Herm. Mangini comes in, and he's a starting receiver in 2006. And this kid comes out of nowhere. It wasn't a first-round pick. I forget what round Cotchery was, but it's kind of similar to Corey. It might have been later than round 3, actually, if I think about it. So I wouldn't say salvage yet. I think Corley is going to be in the mix. And he's going to have every opportunity to prove he should play.
Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. We're talking with Robby Sabo. There's 812 of you watching live right now, the day after the Glennaissance is underway. So if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for, baby? Click that subscribe button and help us keep growing. Appreciate all the Jet fans out there who tune in each and every day. Eric with a super chat. Glenn was not my first choice, but he won me over at the press conference. Bring Rodgers back. Which OC in DC would be ideal for this team? So we talked about some of the names earlier, but I do think Eric's super chat here represents a lot of fans out there that, we don't know how it's going to go. And it's once again another first timer, but it felt different yesterday because Glenn's a Jet and he wanted this job. He understands what comes with this job. And look, he's a first-time coach, so you never know, but I will acknowledge as someone who wanted experience over any first-timer, Glenn definitely sounded like a guy who understands what he's getting into. And that's my biggest fear with any first-time coach in this market, with this owner and everything that's gone on the last, 14 years.
Yeah. Look, he's any Parcells guy, not any, but most Parcells guys are going to have the idea of leadership down. Again, he's going to have to put it into practice. He's going to have to learn on the job. I don't care how great a prospect coach you are. It's going to happen. There's going to be some missteps, no question. But give him time. Right now, he's all about trying to hire the right staff. Let's see what comes from that. He's going to be focused on the staff while Mougey's going to be focused on evaluating the roster, seeing where everything is contractually. So we'll get some good info on which rumors come out, which names come out in terms of who he's targeting. That'll be number one. And ultimately, listen, I think the leadership accountability stuff is going to work out with him. I really do. That there's signs here that we just didn't see in 2001 with Saleh. It'll come down to applying the practice of the modern game for defensive mind for a Parcells guy, for any coach, not just Glenn, any coach in today's league. And I harp on this because, yes, accountability has been a major thing. Leadership, a major thing. And just getting that down, they will win games next year. But whether it's Saleh, Gase, Bowles, and I think Bowles with his first job before he ran into Brady and Arians, Rex even, after those first 2 years, their last 4 coaches had no clue. in terms of how to coach and put the modern game into practice. And that's especially the case with Salah. So hopefully Glenn understands that and he figures it out.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah. Let's go, Sabo. Let's go, baby.
It's promising. It's promising. I'm trying to stay even keeled, as you could tell. But we'll see. He has the experience being in Detroit to understand what today's game's all about. That's my optimism.
100%. 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a special shout out to listener John G, who is the second Asmaniac to purchase an Aaron Glenn built for this bleep t-shirt that's on sale right now at jakeasman.com. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh man, now I'm jealous. I got to bring back the JetX shop, get the t-shirts back. Damn it.
JetX shop. I mean, maybe we got to do a partnership. The Jake Asman merch store and the JetX merch store coming together.
I'll shoot you the link and some of the old t-shirts we had. They sold well, dude. Connor McGovern's wife bought like 100 of them on like the first day. Yeah, it was the Run CMC shirt we had, but we had to ditch it for certain reasons. But we'll talk about it. We'll chat.
Yeah, you can't use Jets or any of this on. So we're very careful with what we put up there. You know?
It's if we do bring it back, we'll work something out. The juices are flowing though. The shirt juices are flowing. I'll tell you that.
If you want merch, jakeasman.com/shop and get everything there. Great super chat here from Ray, who says, do you prefer the Jets stay at 7 or move back? The draft this year seems pretty slim. When's the next raffle? I'm planning on doing it next week or right when I get back from the Super Bowl. We did 2 raffles in 6 days, so I want to space it out a little bit, give people more opportunities to win. Plus, we need a lot of entries, man, because we got a huge prize here. Biggest one we've done yet. Joe Namath signed helmet, followed by the Klecko signed helmet and the Aaron Glenn signed photo. So, Ray, I got you down for 5 with this $20 super chat. And as far as the draft goes, I'm always team trade back, but I feel like that's easier said than done. You need a team that wants to trade up. Remember, the Jets traded back last year, but that was because you had so many quarterbacks that teams needed. So you were able to move back only one spot because Minnesota wanted to make sure they got J.J. McCarthy. So I hope they trade back, but it's easier said than done. So that's kind of my initial thoughts on where they are at 7.
I agree. My default is trading back, especially in this situation, first year for the head coach and new regime. Especially if you have Rodgers, but it's going to be dependent on the situation. Is Storm Rocks cutting a promo on me? Is that Beastbreaker? Storm Rocks?
Storm Rocks is in fact Beastbreaker.
He's cutting a promo on me in the comments. Don't worry, Robbie, you'll get it. Just relax, you'll live longer. What the hell are you talking about, Beastbreaker?
Should I ask him?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is Beastbreaker asking? We don't know.
Beastbreaker. 50 bucks will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
Cutting a promo on me? What's going on? And someone saying, Dave Bringo, don't pay attention. I specifically did that so this guy gets on the show.
I'm not going to listen to the crybaby say, we got plenty of time. We got 6 months. We're not just jumping hula hoops yet. We got plenty of time. Hey, if you want to open your own store, I'd like that. The Jake Robbie
you're talking about the store. I got you. The
Jake Robbie store. Shirts will be selling real fast, including we got a dick alert.
Beast, Mike has sent you to the hole.
Now look what you've done. Beastbreaker 666. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think
give him another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bend over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
Is there a Beastbreaker t-shirt yet?
There's not. We do have a Beastbreaker emoji, which we could put on a t-shirt maybe. But, man, he was just getting rolling there, and Mike's like, nah, I'm good.
What do you got to do to send him to a hole? You just put it in the comments?
So it's like a universal rule on the show for any longtime listener. You could send someone to the hole if you declare you're sending them to the hole, like Mike did with his follow-up comment. He said get rid of them. 10 memberships gets it done, or a $50 super chat. And the super chat you could write out, send this person to the hole. Usually it's Alan the last month since Beast has really emerged. It's been him. But Mike took care of it. He wrote, get rid of them, and I'm a capitalist, so that's it.
Basebreaker t-shirts in 6XL only from Adam. Too cool. Beastbreaker, what do you got to say about that?
You won't know. He's in the hole.
Ah, he's in the hole. That's right. Well, I wish he could defend himself, but what are you going to do?
Man, if you want him out of the hole, there's also a way to pay his bail. It's 10 memberships or a $50 super chat.
I'm not, I'll leave it up to the Asmaniacs.
Sometimes they do pay up to bring him back. He's very polarizing. Half the chat loves him. The other half hates him. I don't know what to do.
Man, that's like he's like the Rodgers of the Asmaniacs, even though people are going to lose their minds on me right now.
It's very similar. 10 members, by the way, from Mike here. Mike, appreciate you, man. You have right now, I think you're the leading membership gifter as far as the 14th Asmaniac raffle for the Namath helmet. Flex Hayes, Enoch Forte, Raw Power. Actually, no, Felix, I think, gave 22, so you're just tied. Steven Alvarez, Justin Joykin, James Caffiero, Depressed Jet Fan, Daryl Osborne, and Sean 24, all receiving channel memberships just now from Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to your super chats before we say farewell to the great Robby Sabo, who everyone should be reading daily at jetsxfactor.com. Jennergy in the house, 5 raffle entries, and she says happy birthday to the baddest of the baddies at Jay Graves, Jay Feisty, #1 seed in March, LFG. It's the Glenergy for me. So Jennergy loves the Glenergy. Let's go, Jennergy.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Also, happy birthday to Jay Graves. She's awesome, longtime listener. Comes to all the Asmaniac events that we've done. Credible Jet fan. Have a great day, Jay Graves. Always appreciate your support. You know what? I think we got to get Bobby on before you go to sing to Jay Graves.
Yeah, where's Bobby? I haven't seen him in a while.
You want Bobby?
Let's get Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Where are you at, buddy?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. And you got Happy Bobby back, right, Jake? You got
Happy. Yeah.
What happened? You were gone?
Well, for the past few weeks, I was a pissed off little guy, and now I'm back.
Why are you upset? Why are you upset? What's talk to?
Different shit going on. Don't worry, it's fine.
Talk to the guy whose name rhymes with your name, please.
It's definitely done now. I'm happy now. I take time off. Well, I really watched Jake's show. Took time calling into the show, but I'm a lot happier now. So you'll find out, Jake, 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Find out how much happy I am now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can I sing to the woman of the moment?
Yes,
please?
The woman of the moment.
Yes, it's Jay Graves, my beautiful lady. Hi, Jay Graves. I love you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jay Graves. Happy birthday to you. And I hope you have a great day. You're a beautiful lady. How's that? Good?
It's great. I really enjoy when you go like this with your hands at the end.
Yeah. Hey, do you think my hands lost a lot of weight? Those chunky monkeys, they're like skinny now.
No,
diet, Bobby. Bobby, you still on the diet?
Yeah, still on the diet. That's why I said wait till tonight, Jake.
And who said it? J-Rod. You have a voice of an angel. You need your own John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Oh wait. Step Brothers. Who played drums? John C. Reilly played the drums. Yeah. You have a voice of an angel, so you need your drummer. Do you know anyone who plays drums?
Not really. No. I wanted to know.
Did you just say Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Are they? That's really the 12 as.
So guys, it looks like Glenn, another defensive coordinator without head coaching experience.
Great.
Was that a fart?
Excuse me.
I can taste it on my tongue.
You can taste it on your tongue.
Prestige worldwide.
Is that as tall as that guy is to Glenn? He's huge, that guy.
Yeah, he's very tall.
Beaver, man.
How tall is Glenn? Glenn is not that tiny, though. Come on.
What do you mean?
How tall is Glenn?
This is a real photo from yesterday.
Dude,
the Jets' new GM is 9'6".
I'm getting.
That's what I thought. I said that didn't look right to me. I didn't think it was that
wrong.
tall.
This is wrong, but I'm getting Howard Stern, Bigfoot, Beetlejuice vibes. It's wrong.
I do like Evan Grunley. He has the right mental state for this team. He's like not like a scary cat like Salah was or Oberg.
No, like Bobby, like Bobby. When people who care about you confront you in a positive way, like even if you get upset, you realize like, man, that's the best thing. Like that was a good thing. You know what I mean? Like even if you
got a few haters. If you don't have haters, you're not popping.
Yeah, but forget the haters. Like the people who love you most are the ones who are going to confront you, that are going to challenge you, and that's what you want.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Jay does. Nick does. Everybody, all my friends do challenge me. Definitely.
Good. That's good.
And the 29th, I can't wait till tomorrow because I have my show back.
Oh, yeah.
The 29th is coming. All right, so I enjoyed talking to Robby as usual, and of course you, Jake. I'll be on later on today's show. Thank you for letting me to sing to Jay Graves. She deserves it. She's a
of course. Happy birthday to Jay Graves once again.
I'm better, Beast. How you doing?
Hey, Hey, you know we sang you that Whopper song. Hey, Jake, let's give him that Whopper song. Whopper, Whopper at BK. We're on the move at BK. Have it your way. You rule.
You rule, yeah.
Hey, I hope you get that job at Burger King, my friend.
Still waiting for that big interview with Bobby at Burger King.
Does him and Beastbreaker get along or what?
Oh yeah, they have quite the kinship.
Nice. I remember a time when it was it didn't start off too well.
It did. It started off a little rocky, but no, I mean, if I could change, you could change, we all could change. To quote Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Drago found out
that he did. Double R with a super chat here. Last chance. We're going to wrap up shortly with Robby. I'll stay on for the rest. Who is the best option to sit and learn behind AR?
Too early. It's way too early. We don't know what the situation is going to be, what the player pool is going to turn out to be.
Throw a dart for Jackson Dart.
Yeah, who's the dude who's all about Dart? Who's the Asmaniac?
Purple Belt Mike wants to take Dart 7th overall.
Yeah, I've heard Dart. I heard Beningo talking about McCord. Listen, there's gonna be options. There's no question. Someone in the chat, even I think you're Howard Stern, dude. Before the Asmaniacs even officially formed, I was the Whack Pack. We talked about the Whack Pack all the time. It's perfect.
His Beastbreaker handsy. I stood.
In the hole, he won't be handsy. There's nothing to use.
He's down with the sodomites in the hole.
Yeah.
Not great. Eiston, thank you for the super chat. Let me see if I can quickly get a couple more in. We got the double R's. We got Genergies. We got Burkinators. Big fella confirming Foley was there. He looked like he got hit by a bus. That's not nice, big fella, but noted. Jay writes in, Mougey interviewed Glenn in Denver. They hired Hackett. He must have been on board to trade for Zach Wilson in Denver. I think Sean Payton is the one making any decision when it comes to a quarterback.
Yeah, he was he wasn't the GM either. Like,
right.
So I wouldn't go too crazy about that.
Fiore checks in with a $10 super chat. Josina is reporting Tanner Angstrad is far down the line for OC and Wilkes for DC. Were any current players at the press conference? Only saw Simpson on social media seem to react to it. Joe Tippmann reacted to it as well on Instagram.
You know what?
Bunch of players did.
That's probably if you're not seeing there was more than just Simpson, but if you're not seeing a lot, it's probably a good sign because that means Glenn has already talked to many of them. And I think the more players react on social media, the more there's a lack of communication or a lack of transparency. So I wouldn't be shocked if Glenn has already talked to, most of the major players.
Huge shout out to listener Justin, who I just saw purchased a built for this shit Aaron Glenn shirt at jakeasman.com. Shout out to you, Justin. Patreon members, make sure you use your discount code. I'm seeing here that Justin did. So shout out to you, Justin, for being a Patreon member and for saving some money on your new Aaron Glenn themed shirt.
Look at his comment. Leon M. Sauce hasn't reacted favorably to Glenn like he did Salah. Dude, Leon M. Listen.
What do you mean? Sauce wasn't here when they hired Salah.
Yeah, correct.
He wasn't a Jet yet.
Even if he's talking about being upset that Salah's gone, listen, I don't want my players throwing a party when a head coach is hired. I want them to be unsure. I want them to be walking on eggshells and be unsure and be uncomfortable. I don't want them comfortable. If they're having a party on social media, that's not a good sign. So if we're seeing less activity, that's a good thing. And keep that in mind moving forward.
Aaron says, besides AR and GW needed to get taken care of, what major decision they would need to be made to the roster? Let's go Jets, turn this bleep around.
D-line, run stuffing D-line, interior guys who could play different ways and play selflessly, where they know their job, and it's like a Mike DeVito-esque for Rex Ryan, a Pua, but more that fit the 4-3 scheme. That interior D-line needs to be fixed in a hurry.
Mike, he super chats. Bobby. Well, there you have it.
That's it.
Purple Belt Mike with our last one for you, Robbie. Jackson Dart is Jets Jesus, baby. Like Renaissance.
Hey, dude. I don't know. I think Purple Belt Mike just loves the name Dart. That's my feeling.
It is a great quarterback name if your last name is Dart. Now, if you're inaccurate, though, there's going to be a lot of headlines poking fun of that.
Yeah, a lot of fans showing up in the stadiums with fake darts in their chest.
That's actually a really cool T-shirt idea if the Jets draft him.
Yeah.
Silhouette of him throwing a pass, and then as he's throwing the ball, it's like it's going towards a dart with bullseye.
Yeah. And if he's terrible, just have it go to the heart with ketchup rolling down the shirt.
Look, I'm not casting any judgment on Jackson Dart. I'm just going to give you a fact here. He went to the same high school that Zach Wilson went to.
Yeah, that's interesting. What does Purple Belt Mike think now? That's my question.
I think he loves him even more.
We'll see. Imagine we're here in August and Jackson Dart's the number 2 Q. That would be a hell of a thing.
Robbie, tell people what they need to know about JetsXFactor.com this week.
That it's awesome.
Yeah,
great. So just open up your web browser. Can't use Netscape anymore. Safari, Chrome, and type in JetsXFactor.com, and the world is your oyster. Period.
The world is your oyster.
Full stop.
Hell yeah. Robbie, great job, man. Appreciate you hopping on as always.
All right. Later, guys.
The great Robby Sabo in his weekly segment on the show. Hit the like button if you're still here. Comments, questions, super chats will, in fact, cut the line. And look, a lot of people want in on our next raffle. You could feel the buzz already. There's so much on the line. Thomas Roseman is in for 5. He's got a chance to win the signed Joe Willie Namath helmet.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah. Thomas's 5 memberships went to the following as maniacs. So if you hear your name called, you thank none other than Thomas Roseman, JS, Mitt Flair, Danny Melendez, MJ, and Broadway Scott. They got memberships from Thomas. Appreciate you, Thomas. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting the channel. Birkin with a super chat. One thing I noticed giving away JFM and the big boys up front was a mistake. We have sideline to sideline LBs. Keep them clean with big boys up front. To give credit to one of our listeners, Neil has been all over this. They need some big fatties up front. They do. That's why if they went defensive tackle at 7, let's say it's Mason Graham is the hot name in the top 10 in a lot of mocks, I'd be okay with that. It is a need. There's no doubt. Jack writes in, why does Bobby call and make no points? He makes points. They're just typically about, his weight, his small hands, the women in his life, his job situation at Burger King, all of it. What a comment here from Nunya Business, who writes in, I really hate Rodgers. He's a proven coach killer and drama queen. He forced the jacket experience. I respect other fans' opinions, but I want that scumbag AR gone. Thank you for exposing yourself as today's dumbass of the day.
Into the shadow realm you go.
That's the problem with Aaron Rodgers. This guy is a cancer that's metastasized throughout the entire building in Florham Park. And I don't know why Jets fans can't see it.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
I would just like to know why Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson, two of the more popular players in the team, are so outspoken on social media about wanting Rodgers to come back. I really want to know. Proven coach killer. You think he fired Saleh? He was very against that. Even the people that cover the Jets, who would love nothing more than the juiciest storyline of all, the Hall of Fame quarterback getting the coach fired, they're the ones telling you Rodgers was blindsided by that and had nothing to do with it. Come on now. The guy took the largest pay cut in NFL history when he became a Jet. We're going to talk about him being a drama queen? Please. His teammates voted him most inspirational a year ago. Don't believe the bullshit that gets put out there as fact about Rodgers. If you do an ounce of research, you can see it's just not true. Anyway, let's get to more of your calls now, shall we? On our Gusbuster Umbrella hotline, let's say hello to Kyle Clifton. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Jake. How are you? So we knew that there was going to be a little pain if it didn't work out with Douglas and Saleh, right? So we're going to see that Mougey is going to have to deal with some of that pain coming up. I was pretty heartened by what I saw out of Glenn yesterday. He can try and disassociate himself from Parcells all he wants. That back and forth with the media is very Parcellian. I got like goosebumps.
It was great though. Like I loved it.
It was great. And like, he had a way of ingratiating himself to the media, but keeping them at arm's length. That is a very difficult thing to do. If he can do, 80% of that, that'll be great. And I understand and want him to be his own man. He's probably going to take a whole bunch of what he's learned from his other stops. If he can take what he's learned a little bit about offense from, his time with Sean Payton, that's great. Anything he might have learned in Detroit, that's great as well. But back to the pain that I was talking about that we're going to have to go through with some of the stuff that Douglas had to do to get us ready to what we thought was compete for a Super Bowl. He put a lot of dead money and void years out there, right? And I thought it made a lot of sense at the time to have a veteran quarterback for this year, and probably would have made a lot of sense the preceding year, to your point. For this year, I don't know if having Tyrod on the roster is necessarily something we need to do. I feel like it's either Tyrod or Rodgers or not both, because Tyrod's contract voids after this year, and then there is dead money out, like something like $5 million for a guy who's not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to see what you thought about that. Is that something where if we bring back Rodgers, we have Travis as maybe the third quarterback, we draft a guy, and we just take our lumps if Rodgers happens to go down, because we realize we're not as close as we were, and we might have to throw these guys into the fire after 5 or 6 games if Rodgers does go down, and see if they can immerse themselves in the new system and show us something. Because realizing too that we're probably not going to take somebody in the first round, it's going to be in the middle rounds, and we might catch lightning in a bottle, and we want to see what they have.
Yeah, so I understand your point. I just don't really think $5 million is that big of a deal in dead money. I don't. Like, I rather just keep Tyrod Taylor because
if it was just that, I would agree with you, but it's not just that. I mean, we have void years and dead money for a guy like Conklin, who's a free agent now, that we're going to be paying into the future. So I think that stuff.
They just carried $50 million in dead cap, and I think I have somewhere in my notes here what the projected cap is supposed to be going up to. Like, it's a significant increase again. So I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I don't think you go cheap at backup. Like, if you bring Rodgers back, you bring Tyrod back, and then you just deal with it for one more year. Unless the only thing that would change that is if they ended up taking one of these quarterbacks in the first round. Then money-wise, it might make sense to do what you're saying, but I don't anticipate that happening.
Yeah, I'm just spitballing. I want the fan base to brace themselves. Whenever a new regime comes in, some of your favorite players, they go away. So, like, anything, like the business as usual that you had under Douglas Asala, there's going to be significant changes. And I'm trying to imagine what they could be, and that could certainly be one of them.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Hey, good call, Kyle. It's possible. I don't know. For $5 million in dead cap, like, I'd rather just have a good backup quarterback. Let's keep Tyrod. You know? Because I'm not really worried about the cap when in all likelihood, there's going to be a rookie quarterback starting in 2026. Or a rookie quarterback that's taken probably in the first round in 2026. Maybe they don't start right away, but I just think we worry so much about the cap. Good coaching can figure all that out. Like, and honestly, it's a good example with Sean Payton because they just made the playoffs with Bo Nix. They had the highest dead cap hit in NFL history on their books this year, and they won. So that matters. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and more importantly, please subscribe to the channel. We gained a bunch of new subscribers yesterday, so good to have a bunch of Asmaniacs for the first time on board. I'm at 41,160 subscribers. We've added 470 according to Mr. Tube within the last 28 days. So let's keep going. Hit that subscribe button. Let's see. Super chat from iStan who says, as Little Dirk once said, the media hungry for clicks. F what a reporter says until I see it with my own eyes. They're trying to create friction. Yeah, and that's what they were trying to do yesterday to Glenn. Trying to get him to say something about Aaron Rodgers that they could use as like the gotcha line for all their stories, for the sports shows, for First Take. And Glenn didn't give him anything. He stuck to the line of we're evaluating everything. It's about the team, not one player. And he said enough is enough when he was pressed on Rodgers.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your
How do you not love that? Set the tone right away. Like, yeah, I'm from the Parcells tree, but I'm not Parcells. I'm my own guy. But that was very Parcellian to quote Kyle Clifton there. Great line with how we dealt with that. I mean, that's the right way to go about it. That was awesome. He gets it, man. That's the best thing I could say about Aaron Glenn. And I was someone who was definitely skeptical of any first-timer coming in here. He's got to hire a good staff, though, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I said on this show, I heard that the Jets and Nick Caley were very far down the line in talks, and people I spoke to felt confident that Caley was going to get the Jet job, but that was before Liam Cohen ended up leaving Tampa and going to become the head coach of the Jaguars. Now with Tampa open, I'm no longer as confident that the Jets are going to get Caley, because if you're Nick Caley, be objective here, folks. Would you rather be the OC of the Jets or the OC of the Bucs, where the last two guys who've had that job with Baker Mayfield became head coaches, right? So, look, money talks. That's the big thing, and maybe Caley looks at it like Aaron Glenn's on a 5-year deal. He's going to be here. But I'm not sure that the Jets are going to get Caley. I was very confident with what I was hearing the other day on the show, and I said that. But that was before Liam Cohen left Jacksonville, or left Tampa to go to Jacksonville as the head coach. Couple comments we have to immediately address here on the show. This needs to be addressed, and we're going to do it. Fire Aaron Glenn writes in, bring back Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson. To the hole you go.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Next order of business is a comment here from Wayne, who says, Jake Asman talking about the Jets like they're one piece away from a dynasty is kind of delusional. That keeps therapists in business. It's the Jets, Jake. Pain is the brand. When have I ever talked about the Jets like they're a dynasty? Are you out of your mind? All I have simply said is the quarterback of the Jets, if it's Aaron Rodgers, he gives them the best chance to win next year. And I've used the 2006 Jets as my comp. Were they a dynasty? No. They made the playoffs and then lost in the wild card round. That's what I could see happening for the Jets if Aaron Glenn is the main genius in 06 and Rodgers could play like Pennington as comeback player of the year that year as well. That's what we're talking about. This team is not that far away from competing for the playoffs. They're not. They were this year, and they had no coaching. So please, stop putting words in my mouth because you're wrong. Another great comment here from Wayne. Jake hyping up the Jets like they're a dynasty is waiting. A dynasty in waiting is peak delusion. Meanwhile, Aaron Glenn's defense couldn't stop a peewee football team. Pain and denial of the Jet fan experience. Wayne, Aaron Glenn was a phenomenal defensive coach. All right? Don't give me that. Thank you for your contributions to the show. Unfortunately, we have a minimum IQ of at least 1, and you don't meet the threshold, so we will see you later.
Listen to yourself. You sound demented. Just go away, please. I can't stand it anymore.
I mean, come on, man. How many games did this team lose because of their kicking situation? How many games did this team lose because they went out there and had the lead late, but the defense collapsed? It's not just Rodgers. He certainly had moments where he didn't play well. I bring up the London game because I was there. But stop it, man. On average, 4 new teams every year make the playoffs. We just watched the Commanders do it in year 1 with a new head coach, OC, quarterback. Houston did it with D'Amico, which I think is a great comp for the Jets because it's a former star player becoming a head coach for the team he played for. Harbaugh shows up, takes over a 5-win team in LA. The Chargers are in the playoffs this year. Like, stop it. Rich says, hit the like button. It's free. That's right. It is. Burkinator says, Wayne needs a therapist. Not Bill for this bleep. Yeah. You're right, Burkinator. You know what they say? When you're right, you're right. And that you are.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's say hello to the birthday girl. Jay Graves is up next. Happy birthday, Jay Graves.
Thank you. Thank you. So that scrum was epic. I actually commented on Nick's show last night. Like when he said that, they're still in the process of evaluating, and then when he said it's not going to be about Aaron Rodgers, I was like, hell yeah. Like, when he comes back, great, but it's not going to be the Aaron Rodgers show. Like, it's the team. And then I also really liked when he said, they're like, oh, what's your identity going to be? He's like, we're going to play it. We're going to find out. Like, he's not doing this bullshit. Like, this is what we're going to be and try and make the players fit this mold. Like, we'll start playing. We'll see what it is, and we'll go from there. And I like that a lot. So I'm definitely, like, I was like, I want the first-time head coach. I want an experienced head coach. But since we have a first-timer, I'm glad he played in the league. And I'm hopeful for sure. I'm not going to get excited yet, but definitely hopeful he's saying all the right things. So it's going to be an exciting year for sure.
So. I'm very encouraged by what I heard yesterday. Yes, he's a first-time coach, but, it sounded different from a guy who obviously understands what he's getting into.
Yeah, and then like how Kyle was talking about the dead cap and stuff for Denver. I kind of like that Mougey is from there. He just dealt with that. So if something does happen with Rodgers or we get this giant dead cap hit, I'm confident-ish that he can deal with it because he was. I know he didn't orchestrate it over there, but he saw the process. So I think it's a good thing. So definitely things to be hopeful for.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Doubt. What are you doing for the birthday, Jay Graves?
I'm working, but Sunday my brother had me over. He made homemade raviolis for me. I hung out with my niece and nephew and played with them all day. So that was like my birthday day. So best birthday ever.
Love it. Well, hopefully in the next calendar year, you see some Jets winning now.
Yes, please God. All right, Jake, thanks for having me on. I will talk to y'all later. Thank you. Bye.
The great Jay Graves, back from Italy, and it's her birthday. We love it. Everyone wish Jay Graves happy birthday in the chat. Shout out to the 4%ers. Birkin. Actually, I already read that one. Never mind. NYJ says, Coach Killer, the last time McCarthy and McDaniels been to an NFC title game was with Rodgers. McCarthy and McDaniels. Who's McDaniels? Last time McCarthy and McDaniel. Who's McDaniel? Why am I drawing a blank on this? Am I missing an obvious coach named McDaniels that has a connection to Aaron Rodgers? Super chat from Cool Hand, who super chats us, says, Jake, it's amazing to me the Athletic is nowhere to be heard from, so I'm pretty sure they're working on negative articles. To be fair, Zach Rosenblatt, who works for the Athletic and is on the Jet beat, wrote a positive story on the Jets and Woody Johnson after yesterday. I'm going to talk more about Woody's comments on the second show today because I have a monologue on that we'll potentially get into. And if not on the second show today, certainly coming up. Also, I think you mean LaFleur to Cool Hand here. Mike LaFleur, you mean, not McDaniels. To NYJ's comment here. Mike McCarthy, Matt LaFleur. That's who you're talking about, I believe. McDaniels was not the Packers coach. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. If you're tuning in late, I apologize for those who've been watching the whole time, but it's a big deal, man. Big deal. We got a Joe Namath signed helmet that we're giving away for the next Asmaniac raffle. We did raffle 13 yesterday. This is raffle 14's grand prize. Signed Namath helmet. Prize number 2, signed Klecko helmet. Prize number 3, signed Aaron Glenn photo. Our top 3 raffle prizes. Gift the membership to be in. Or if you send a $20 super chat, that's 5 memberships. $50 super chat, that's 10. So on and so forth. Anthony is up next on the Gusbuster hotline. What's up, Anthony?
What's going on, Jake? How you doing, big bro?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm sorry. My TV is a little off with what's going on. My screen on my phone. I got 2 accounts. So I watch you on my TV, and I watch you on the phone.
I love it, man.
I got you locked in, brother.
Just beat the TV, and you're good.
I just want to say I'm real happy with this Aaron Glenn signing, man. It's really good. I mean, I'm just concerned with who's going to be the OC. We need safety help on the back end of the defense, and I think Glenn's going to bring that up, being a defensive player in the league. So, and one thing, I don't know why you keep giving these guys time to just say these stupid comments on your show. You got a great show, man.
I appreciate it. Well, if you don't address it, then you don't hold people accountable, Plus, we created the Shadow Realm, Stupid Town, and the Hole for a reason. So, we gotta put those to good use.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm actually excited for this season, man. I'm really excited. I can't wait.
Man. That's good because this fan base was down bad, and even though Glenn's a Jet, I was skeptical if he'd be able to really rally the fan base as another first timer, and I was wrong. He was awesome yesterday, and I think a lot of people are excited again.
Yeah, it's about time, right? It's about time for some excitement. The last time I remember a coach that got me excited like that during the presser was Rex Ryan.
Yeah, and look what Rex did. So 100%.
Yeah, tell him, Kelsey. JETS.
Yeah, love that. That's awesome.
I start him early.
Absolutely. Anthony, you're the man. Thanks for calling.
Later, my brother.
Appreciate it. Anthony checking in. Great call. Give some love to Anthony. That was awesome. Cute kid. Great. Thomas checks in. Wayne Corbett as wide receiver coach would be a great hire. Lifetime Jet. Maybe. Does he want to do it? It's easy to say, hey, this guy was great as a wide receiver, making the wide receiver coach. A lot of times guys start out in different roles. Like Antonio Cromartie wasn't the corner coach when he was helping the Jets all summer. He was a coach intern or whatever his official title was. So he did a little bit of everything. Specialized with the DBs, but was doing other stuff. So, look, we'll see. We'll see what Glenn does for his staff. I'm expecting some staff hires over the next several days. A guy yesterday was like, is he going to get an OC done in 24 hours? I go, maybe, but I don't think everything's going to be done in the next 48 hours. I don't think it has to be. But I think over the next couple days, notice will start to trickle in for sure. Party with Peg and Artie, who's on the second show. We're going to try and get Will Parkinson on for the second show. He's down at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. So Will and I are corresponding, trying to get him on around 4:30 today. But check the Discord for updates, and I'll post when that's confirmed. Shadow Realm writes in, Zach Wilson, 8 touchdown passes, 7 wins. Rodgers, 28 touchdown passes, 5 wins. Maybe football is a team sport. Yeah, I mean, the misconception is that, the Jets, you said they were a quarterback away. They were. And then this season happened, and they weren't the same team that we thought they were going to be. They didn't have the same elite defense. They didn't have a kicker who missed 3 kicks all year. Greg Zuerlein missed like 6 kicks and like 3 PATs in 5 games or 6 games, whatever it was, before they finally got rid of him. It was ridiculous. Where they phantom IR'd him. What a joke. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. I got open phone lines. I just saw a comment before. Someone saying, where's Beast? He was sent to the hole earlier by Mike. Beast will be brought out with 10 memberships or a $50 super chat. That also, by the way, if you declare it, we'll get you in the raffle for 10 entries for the Namath helmet if you're interested. Want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. I don't believe I did. What did you guys think of the Glenn press conference yesterday? Are you encouraged? Are you hopeful? I meant to address this earlier. R&R took a shot at me. Says when you flip a coin, Jake calls tails and heads. Only idiots take the wait and see approach. Real fans get right on board. No, R&R. Real fans aren't afraid to criticize their team. And don't just say everything's great if it's not. I hope Aaron Glenn is awesome. I'm rooting for him. I thought he was really impressive yesterday. But I'm not going to change my opinion and say he's now going to be amazing because he did great in the press conference. That would make me a phony. All right? I would hope the 41,000 of you who subscribe to this channel want honesty and not someone just waving the Jet pom-poms. We'll do that when it's appropriate. No one wants to see the Jets win more than me. I promise you that. But I'm not going to pretend like it's all good if it's not. Tommy writes in, I hope Greg isn't the kicker next year, or if he is, he was actually hurt and improves. I move on for Greg Zuerlein. Sean says, Jake, I'm so enthusiastic. I'm buying a ticket to the home opener. Love that, man. I'll hopefully be there too. Ralph says, how do you feel about Oberk taking over our linebacker coach? Taking our line. That's going to happen. The Jets have a bunch of assistants that they're kind of in limbo right now. One of the few assistants I would retain if I'm Aaron Glenn is Aaron Whitecotton, who's the defensive line coach. So we'll see. You got to let Glenn hire his staff. This is what he wants to do. He has every right. I'm honestly, obviously the coordinators are important. I'm very interested to see what Mougey does with the front office. You have guys in the Jets front office that have been there since Izek and McCagnon that are still there at senior level positions. And I've talked about this on the show before. I want to see the scouting and front office personnel completely revamped over the next several months. That's the bottom line. Yo Holmes says Gase showed up to the presser high. Did he? Or was that just Gase in his natural habitat? I don't know. We've come a long way, though, from this. I mean, good God, man. What are we doing? My eyes. Oh, my eyes. Remember when Bobby Midnight said that? It wasn't about this, though. Woo, look at me. I'm Adam Gase. Ugh. You know, winning the press conference doesn't mean you're going to win games, but you definitely could lose the press conference. Now, it doesn't mean you're doomed. Look at Nick Sirianni. But, God, that was just, what a day.
I think the second one, excuse me.
If Gase farted at the press conference, it would have gone over better than whatever that was. Good Lord. Super chat. Margin, by the way, good/bad teams is tiny in the NFL. Yeah, it is. It is a very small margin. And coaching matters. Coaching matters more in football, I believe, than any other sport. It really does. Let's see. Rich says, great coach. Yep. Steven writes in response to how Jake handles all these horrible takes. He's freaking Jake Asman, and he's built for this shit.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Yeah. Love that, man. Alan says Cohen Duval chant was cringe. Yeah, that was a rough one. I'm not going to say Liam Cohen can't be a good coach, but like that was a tough look. That was a tough look for Liam Cohen. That was like Jonathan Gannon had a brutal introductory press conference too when the Cardinals hired him. And he might be a decent coach. I don't think we know just yet. Easton says Gase's eyes have gimbal mount. I don't know. God. Adam Gase, man. Coaching football to where it's going. It's a first impression. It's not the end all be all, but you know, these things do matter. And they matter depending on the fan base too. Like I think for Jet fans who went through Gase and coming off the Salah experience, I think it does matter. I do. Aaron says, "Can you play the Duval chant from Cohen?" I don't have it. If Gator, if you're watching, you could send it to me as an MP4. I'll play it, but don't worry if you're busy, you can't do it or you're not watching. Leon says, how did Christopher Johnson get impressed by Gase in the interview process? I could tell you how Gase had Peyton Manning call on his behalf. I mean, that's what did it. They didn't have a real search. They weren't thorough in their search. Oh, Peyton Manning advised him? Great. That's it. You know, press conferences are press conferences, but I am excited for this fan base to be excited a little bit, you know? It's time. It's time to be fired up. More of your calls right now. No. I'm fired up. Let's go. Let's go, baby. You guys want to be fired up? Here we go. First look at the music video of Aaron Glenn's Jet Anthem, 31 AGHC. Jet it up. 31 AGHC. Bring it on.
If I wanted this job, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit. There's nothing better than having you start here as a player, here as a scout, and now here as a head coach. And I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Gator. For those who didn't notice, by the way, we have a new Aaron Glenn intro that Gator made too. He's been crushing it. Easton says because Chris Johnson drank too much of his family's baby oil. Maybe. I mean, that's somewhat believable, I guess. I don't know. All right, last chance to get in as far as gifting a membership during the show. Reminder, we are the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit. Glenn t-shirts on sale now at jakeasman.com. Joe Willie Namath raffle. Signed helmet. Every membership goes towards that, or the Klecko helmet, or the Aaron Glenn signed photo. Mr. Bisk says, love Jackson Dart as a mid-rounder. He's getting hyped up like he could go second round now. Maybe end of the first even. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be there in round 3 or 4. I think he's gone. I don't think he'll be there. I'd love to be wrong. I just don't see it. Purple Belt Mike wants Gators Anthem as its own clip. I'll put it up as a members video. How about that? If you're a channel member, you'll get it. Good idea, Mike. Let's say hello to JT, who's next. What's up, JT?
Yo, let's go. The Renaissance era is upon us. I'm just so hyped after hearing all these clips, man, from yesterday. Holy. Putting Rich Samini in his place was probably top tier.
Giving the media a wedgie yesterday, man. Yeah.
Dude, that was beautiful. Stole his lunch money. Like, none of our coaches are able to do that. They all cower and start to stutter, and they can't answer right when Rich Samini asks those questions. But Glenn knows how to handle it. I mean, he was here for years, so he should know how to handle it. But he seems like he knows how to handle it, man, and I love it.
Can I tell you the comp for Aaron Glenn? He reminds me of Coach Herman Boone in Remember the Titans. He's like Denzel up there, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I love it. I'm fired up for this one, man. It's insane. But you know what? We're built for this shit, and I can't wait to get my T-shirt. That was me, by the way, that ordered that.
That was you? Awesome, Jay.
Yeah, I'm Justin, yeah. Hell yeah, man. I can't wait to get that T-shirt. Let the Renaissance era begin, brother. Have a good one.
I love it, man. JT, great call. Love that you're hanging out in Kyle Clifton's living room there. Tremendous. Strong side, weak side. I see you, Jay Quest. This is Coach Boone, baby. Let's go.
Listen, I want this job. I interviewed for a number of them, but I wanted this job. When I was going to my second interview, I wanted to make sure this is going to be the second interview. It's going to be the first of the second interviews, because I didn't want to leave the building without shaking Woody's hand and make sure we had a contract. So I'm just telling you now, everything else was really out of it. It was all about the Jets, and it's been that way from the beginning. The organization, we've already talked. I respect every little thing that you do, because this is bigger than me. It's going to take us all. It's going to take us all to accumulate wins. And I look forward to working with you.
That's what you love. That's what you love. You love that. Let's go, baby. You could feel the Glenergy. So let's hope it translates, man. We want to believe. JT writes in some good whiskey over at Kyle's place. Oh, I'm sure. Only the best for the great Kyle Clifton. All right. Are we done? I think we're done. Last chance here. Appreciate everyone's support. Great super chats today. Great conversation with Mr. Sabo. We're back in a few hours. Hey, join the Patreon. I can't say this enough, man. I want to get some more Patreon members, some Discorders in there. When you join the Patreon, you get access to the Discord. That's the only way in. Someone messaged me that they were a channel member. Where's the Discord? We make it really exclusive. We make it for the real Asmaniacs. Got to be a Patreon member first. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. And join today, ideally, because I'm going to send the list of names for January to Gator to update for February. We update the list of names every single month. For those of you who watch the countdown ticker, your name will be added there as a way of me saying thank you for your support and allowing me to continue to talk about our favorite football team here full time. Rich says, hit the like button on your way out. Yeti writes in, one last request, no Mustache Wednesday. How dare you? I'm paying tribute to Charles Gorman. But Yeti, the same offer still stands. 50 memberships, I'll shave it live on the air because I'm a capitalist. But no one's done that yet. So, I love it. JT makes a good point. He used the discount code on his shirt, so he basically got a free month of Patreon. Yeah, if you're going to buy a Glenn shirt, right, the discount code's going to save you at least $6. On membership for 1 month is only $5. So I make it nice and cheap. It's just a way of connecting the community even closer. Rich says, so close to 400. Amen. Click that like button on the way out of here. All right, I appreciate all of you. We will be joined by Will Parkinson, ideally, in the afternoon. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. We're the New York Jets, baby. We're built for this shit.
Bring it on.
But I wanted this job. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit. There's nothing better than having you start here as a player, here as a scout, and now here as a head coach. And I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.